Okay, welcome back everyone. So in this step, we're going to start building out our course, and it's pretty exciting. And we use folders to do that. And by the end of this lesson, what we really want to do is take this blank template that we have now, this course shell for a Year 7 English course. And in the materials area, because that's where the course content lives, you will see that there's nothing in there. So what we want to do is we want to build this out. We want to say, if you're a student coming into this course, what is your learning program for the year going to look like translated into Echo? And as I was saying, the best way to do this is to click Add Materials, and then we want to add a folder. And folder is a unit where we can bring a whole lot of bits and pieces and resources together under a label. So for instance, if this was a first unit that I'd started with in the year, I may choose to go 01 for first unit. Let's call it, I've got some preloaded in here. Let's say we're doing a text called Holes by Louis Sakar. And so I type that in there. I've got folder colors. I can use any one of these colors of the rainbow if I'd like to. I tend to use yellow as a literary color for some reason. I like that. But in your department or in your mind, you may like to use different colors to color code your folders in different ways. So for written texts, for me, it's yellow. And then into this description box is a really great place to send a message to the student to show them or explain what this unit is about or what the contents of this folder is all about. So I have cut and pasted a learning objective, and here's my learning objective: show a developing understanding of ideas within and across and beyond text. So when a student looks at this, after I've clicked create down the bottom here, it'll start to populate the first bit of my course structure. So when a student logs in, they'll be able to see, first unit, Holes by Louis Sakar. I wonder what's in there. It's to help me show a developing understanding. You can do this in a variety of different ways. But yeah, this is the easiest way to build out a course. Another way to add a folder is just to hover over this line here, and you get this green little plus sign. Click that. Add your second folder. 02. This could be a film study. So I don't know. I'll just make one up. Batman. And is obviously black, isn't it? And then you put the learning objective in here, below for learning objective, just for right now. And you will see that as you start to do this, the course structure starts to build all the way through. So how do you edit these folders? How do you go back into the editing mode, where you click on the little cog right over there, and once you clicked on the cog, you can do all these different things. If you don't like it, you can delete it. You can unpublish it so that students can't see it, or you can jump into the editing mode. So if I jump back into editing, I can then go and change the color of Batman. I can make it into Batman 2, and I can update the learning objective. And here's the next thing I wanted to show you. When you look at down the bottom here, you've got this idea called date. So you can make this folder appear in a student course on a specific date. So you can preload your whole year, and then when the unit starts, you just go, boom, I want it to appear on that date. Alternatively, you can publish it by using this little availability tab. So if I keep it on published and I push it, all students will be able to see that immediately. If I don't want them to see it yet, what I do is I go unpublished and then save it. And what this will do, if I refresh, you'll notice that this line on the screen will be slightly darker, which means that students can't see this particular unit, but they can see that unit. And this is a great way of preparing materials in your course and then publishing them at the right time. Or if you don't want a student to see something immediately, you can just unpublish it, fix it up, and then publish again. And you can do that, as I say, by jumping into edit or jumping into the cog and then publish or unpublish. Now, remember in a previous video, we looked at curating our resources back in here. And the point of that is so that we could get all our resources from OneDrive, from Google Apps, or whatever form they are, whether they're links or videos, all into one place in our personal folders on Echo. because Echo is the toolbox that all these things can live in, I can actually bring in files or folders or units or lessons or links from my resources. So I can click Add Materials, scroll down to the bottom, and I click down here, Import from Resources. So once I've done that, it will bring up my filing cabinets. And if I look into any of these filing cabinets, I know it's a Year 7 course. I don't teach Year 7, but let's just say I want to bring in Echo user guidelines for students. So I'll go and find the file that I want. I'll click on it, and I want the learning chart because I want to go over that with students. And then I will click the import button, and it will bring those two files straight into my course. Wait for a couple of seconds, and there you can see they are now inside of the course. But it's not good just to leave random files dangling around in the course. So we're going to make a new folder, and we're going to call this Welcome to 7 English. And I'm going to make this white. And then in here, I'm going to say everything you need to know about Year 7 English. Yeah. And make sure it's published, so keep it on published and create that. So now I've got a folder that's sitting down the bottom here, and I've got two files that I want to go into this folder. So I'm going to click down this little drop down, and I'm going to pull the charter just below and put it into that folder. Again, with the Echo user guidelines, I'm going to pull it and drop it just underneath into that folder. It's a little bit tricky, but once you get used to it, it's all sorted. And then, boom, that's done. Now, because welcome becomes before my first unit, I'm going to pull this right up to the top. So now I've got my unit nice, looking good. I can click on my downward arrow, see what's inside of that little folder. I don't have anything in my holes yet. So do you know what? I'm actually going to unpublish it because I don't want the students to see that I don't have anything in there right now. And in my first lesson, what I can do is go through the learning charter and how to use Echo with these students. So that's how you use folders. I think the most important thing to remember is that we need to label folders in a way that is logical and helpful for the audience, which is students. Remember to put in a little description which explains to the student what the objective is or what the contents is, and remember to publish or unpublish accordingly. And that how we started by creating a unit within Echo by either importing our resources from our personal filing cabinet and resources, or we simply start in the course and we start pulling together the information that's going to be helpful for students. See you in the next step.